Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Street News गांव से, Malnadu TV India, Organ Donation India Foundation, and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic, and today's topic is divorce, the rising trend. Divorce, also known as dissolution of marriage, is the process of terminating a marriage or marital union. Divorce usually entails the cancelling or reorganizing of the legal duties and responsibilities of marriage, thus dissolving the bonds of matrimony between a married couple under the rule of law of the particular country or state. Divorce laws vary considerably around the world, but in most countries, divorce requires the sanction of a court or other authority in a legal process, which may involve issues of distribution of property, child custody, alimony, spousal support, child visitation, access, parenting time, child support, and division of debt. In most countries, monogamy is required by law, so divorce allows each former partner to marry another person. Divorce is different from annulment, which declares the marriage null and void, with legal separation or de jure separation, a legal process by which a married couple may formalize a de facto separation while remaining legally married, or with de facto separation, a process where the spouses informally stop cohabiting. Reasons for divorce vary from sexual incompatibility or lack of independence for one or both spouses to a personality clash. The only countries that do not allow divorce are the Philippines and the Vatican City. In the Philippines, divorce for non-Muslim Filipinos is not legal unless the husband or wife is an alien and satisfies certain conditions. The Vatican City is an ecclesiastical state which has no procedure for divorce. A divorce is among the most traumatic occurrence for any couple. To add to this, it can also be a long-winded and costly affair in India if divorce is contested. Even couples who mutually agree to divorce, however, must prove that they have been separated for a year before the courts consider their plea. In India, as with most personal matters, rules for divorce are connected to religion. Divorce among Hindus, Buddhists, Sikhs, and Jains is governed by the Hindu Marriage Act 1955, Muslim by the Dissolution of Muslim Marriage Act 1939, Parsis by the Parsi Marriage and Divorce Act 1936, and Christians by the Indian Divorce Act 1869. All civil and inter-community marriages are governed by the Special Marriage Act 1956. The divorce law works with some conditions and not in all situations. A spouse can initiate to give a legal notice for divorce to the other spouse before ending the husband and wife relationship. There are different types of divorce petitions. Divorce process in India, divorce rules in India, and the divorce laws in India are a little complicated. Types of divorce petitions. A couple can get a divorce with mutual consent, or either spouse may file for divorce without the consent of the other. Divorce with mutual consent is when husband and wife both agree to a divorce. The courts will consider a divorce with mutual consent. For the petition to be accepted, however, the couple should be separated for a year or 2 years as per the relevant act and be able to prove that they have not been able to live together. Often, even when either husband or wife is reluctant, they still agree to such a divorce because it is relatively inexpensive and not as traumatic as a contested divorce. Matters such as children's custody, maintenance, and property rights could be agreed mutually. The young couples are fast becoming upwardly mobile and rich in Indian cities. But economic prosperity is taking its toll on the marital status and marriages are falling apart. Over the years, the number of divorce cases filed in the family courts have doubled. The main reason are ego, stress to professional competition. Family counselors and lawyers say the trend may play havoc with the institution of marriage. In cities like Gurgaon, over 25 matrimonial dispute cases are registered every month at the Mediation and Conciliation Center. More than 10 are divorce petitions. At least 2 cases settle for divorce every month. It is seen that most of the couples filing a divorce petition in the family courts are working professionals in the age group of 25 to 35 years. According to experts, divorce are increasing due to frequent ego clashes and work style stress. Corporate culture demands long working hours and increases stress levels in young people. Also, there is professional competition among the spouses. The husbands file more than 70% of the total divorce cases. In the corporate world, a man fails to give sufficient time to his family. This directly affects his relationship with the wife. A progressive individual culture is also responsible for the upward trend. Spouses are no longer dependent on each other financially. Also, ego plays a major role. Lawyers say that couples with irrevocable differences prefer divorce by mutual consent. There is a high sense of intolerance and immaturity among young couples these days. It is the modern culture and materialistic attitude of people that has to be blamed. Another cause of the divorce is rising cases of domestic violence where wives are victims of physical abuse. According to lawyers, these cases are either of domestic violence or maintenance issues. It is the wives who usually file for the divorce. Contested divorce takes longer, around 18 to 24 months. Here, the aggrieved party must prove cruelty, unsoundness of mind, and impotency of the spouse. Children are no longer the binding factor in marriages. Most children are badly affected by the fact that their parents are divorced or on the verge of splitting. Experts also say that children tend to project extreme behavioral patterns such as aggressiveness or social withdrawal. They become quarrelsome or start bullying other children and suffer from psychological weakness. There is also blow to child's self-esteem. What worsens the situation is when a partner tries to malign the other to gain the child's sympathy. In recent years, more and more married couples in India are walking away from their marriages. Court figures and data from Crime Record Bureau reveals that over the past decades, divorce rates have doubled and in some cities even tripled. This trend is evident not just in metropolis, but in smaller cities and semi-urban areas as well. It is a reflection of India's challenging socio-economic landscape, where this phenomenon is not restricted to the affluent urban populace as it used to be in 1980s. Figures suggest that more people from middle class and lower middle class are opting out of unhappy alliance. Delhi leads the way, registering about 9,000 cases every year, a huge increase from the average 1,000 cases that were registered in the 90s. Kolkata and Chennai have also recorded a rise of 200% in divorce rates. Kerala has seen a quantum leap of 350%. Punjab and Haryana have seen an increase of 150% in divorce cases. Incompatibility and adultery are among the most cited reasons by those filing for divorce, a substantive number of young couples. A combination of factors, nuclear family structure, professional ambitions, mismatched expectations, and modern lifestyle is contributing to the increase in the number of couples that decide to part their ways. Youth today do not subscribe to the rigid notions of the sanctity of marriage as an institution. And to discuss this very, very important, relevant topic, divorce, the rising trend, we have very experienced, qualified, those who are authority in this field. Panelists are with us. And I would like to invite my first panelist guest, and he is Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma is the chairman of Gyan Deep Shiksha Bharati Senior Secondary School, Mathura. He is a leading lawyer of Western UP with more than 41 years of practice. He is regularly appearing in Supreme Court and different high courts, including Allahabad, Madhya Pradesh, Delhi, Andhra Pradesh high courts, etc. He is extensively practicing constitutional, civil, and taxation matters. He is also rendering social services. He is secretary of Kans Nikandan Trust, Mathura. He is founder secretary of Civil Lawyers Forum and president thereafter. Welcome, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, you being dealing in the family matters as a civil lawyers and especially in the divorce petitions. And you have come across so many divorce cases. You might have seen the trend is increasing day by day. So we would like to know from you the divorce, the rising trend. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, please.
Mr. Goyal, first I would like to congratulate you for having such an important topic, which is actually it is a topic of social importance. And it is a social problem which is increasing day by day, and it requires a deep consideration. Divorce is a common in Muslims and Christians, but it was not there initially in Hindus. There was no scope for divorce in Hindus. To understand the divorce, first we have to understand the marriage. In Hindus, marriage is a holy union of male and female for performance of religious and social duties. It was not a contract like Muslims, and it was like a sacrament, and that too for birth and thereafter for rebirth. With the introduction of Hindu Marriage Act in 1955, this concept of divorce was introduced in Hindus. Firstly, a Hindu code bill was introduced in the parliament and was passed by both the houses of parliament and sent to the president for signing and acceptance. At the time, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president, and he refused to sign the Hindu code bill and sent it back to the parliament for reconsideration on the ground that this Hindu code bill was against the Hindu culture. And his objections was with regard to this divorce provision also, because of in that Hindu code bill, the provisions of divorce were very lenient. Anyway, the parliament reconsidered the matter, and that Hindu code bill was bifurcated in 4 separate acts: Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, and Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act. Under this Hindu Marriage Act, the provision was divorce was also made, but it was made a little more typical than it was easier in the Hindu code bill. This act was signed by the president and it came into existence. Now in this act, there are separate provisions for having the marriage voidable and thereafter divorce. Section 11 of this act says that if the marriage of the two couples may be void if either of them is having a living spouse at the time of marriage, or they are having a degree of prohibited relationship like brothers and sisters, or they are having their subsequent relationship is not permitted in their culture in particularly. So that is also void marriage. Then section 12 is there, and that is with regard to voidable marriages. For voidable marriages, a petition has to be filed in the court to declare the marriage void. Until unless the court declares the marriage void, it is a valid marriage. But for section 11, that is void marriage, the marriage is void ab initio, it is non-existent. Now this declaration of voidable marriage may be taken if any of the spouse is incapable, it is impotent, or they are having, or their consent has been taken by force or by playing some fraud, or any one of them was unable to give the consent of the marriage. So these are the grounds for section 12. Then comes section 13, which is divorce. This divorce provision is having two parts, section 13A and 13B. Section 13A says that any of the one spouse may file a petition for divorce on the ground that the other party has voluntarily sexual relationship with any other person, or there has been some cruelty with the spouse, or the spouse has been deserted for more than 2 years, or the spouse has converted from the religion. Some grounds are also there with regard to the physical incompetence, like unsoundness of mind, mental disorder, having infectious diseases. These are also the grounds. Now, these all are the legal grounds. But as I feel that the actual grounds of divorce are not legal, rather they are social. As you have also said, that so many problems are there which the changing norms of society has been created. All these provisions are there from 1955, and section 13B, divorce by mutual consent, was introduced in this act in 1976. But this divorce have increased in last about 20 years, and it is increasing day by day. Now we have to consider a social aspect of this divorce. As marriage is a social institution, and breaking of marriage is also a social problem and is a social evil. Its reasons are hidden in the society itself, and the reasons are to be traced within the society. Previously, there was joint Hindu families in our society, and the problems of the husband and wife were being dealt with by the senior members of the joint Hindu family. And a social pressure works on the mind of the couple to remain united. The problems may be given a redress by the senior members, and the social pressure, these two things were not allowing the person to separate from each other. Anyway, with the disruption of the joint Hindu families, this social pressure has also gone down, and it has minimized the resolution of the disputes between husband and the wife. As you have also said, this marriage is based on the basis of love and affection between each other, and to some extent it needs a sacrifice of personal rights and liberties. And in the single families where no joint Hindu family is there, the importance of personal rights have increased much, and it has increased up to the level of the ego. This ego is a major reason for this divorce. As the ego is increasing our society in our personal life, the divorce are increasing. Nowadays, the quantity of divorce is also increasing in the self-settled marriages. Generally, we say the self-settled marriages like the love marriages. Anyway, we have seen that in spite of the self-settled marriages, the couples came to us just after 2, 3, or 4 months of the marriage to have a divorce. That is quite surprising. But anyway, what I feel, the major reason is that these couples are unable to fulfill the responsibilities created by the institution of marriage. That is the major reason that they are unable to keep the marriage alive, and they want to dissolve it. Our new generation is not taking this institution of marriage seriously. They are taking it very lightly, either in getting the marriage or in getting the divorce. That is also one of the major reasons that the divorce are increasing day to day. As our society is basically a male dominating society, but the legal rights of both of them are equal. But as I feel nowadays, some more legal rights have been given by law to the female, and the females have came in legal parlance in a dominating role. This is a contradiction in the social values and the legal rights. Whenever this contradiction prevails, the problem creates. But if the persons creates a balance in between these social values and the legal rights, if any problem is there, it is dissolved. So it depends upon the couple itself that they are able to keep a balance in the legal rights and in this social values. I'm giving an example to you, as generally our social values are having a weight over the legal rights. Our Hindu Succession Act says that every daughter is having a right in the property of the mother and the father, and it is since 1956. But generally, more than in 90% cases, daughters are not claiming any property in the father's or mother's property until and unless there is some dispute in between brothers and sisters. That is due to a social custom, and it is absolutely contradictory to the legal right. But this keeping of balance is diminishing nowadays, and that is also a major reason. And increasing the value of the property, increasing the importance of the personal rights, and the awareness of the personal rights, that is also an important aspect. As the awareness is increasing, together with increasing the awareness, the ego is also increasing. Now it depends upon the mental status of the person whether he is or she is able to control the ego and to what extent they are able to control the ego. If the ego is not being controlled, it creates a dispute between the families. Then divorce are due to physical incapacities also, like as I have said, incapacity of unsoundness of mind, infectious diseases. But these all are the natural, which cannot be said to be a legal problem at all. Rather, if some impotency is there, or unsound mind is there, infectious disease is there, then divorce should be natural. All these divorces cannot be said to be a social problem. Now, in the courts also, in our ancient system, yes, remarriage were also permitted to a lady in case the husband is impotent, or he has changed the religion, or has become saint. So prior to Hindi Marriage Act also, in all these circumstances, a remarriage to the lady was permitted, but divorce word was not there at all in our ancient system. These all problems requires a social treatment. Presently, marriage counselors are there in our panel, and first I would like to hear those marriage counselors with regard to this social problem, because of I feel that it is a social problem and not a legal one at all. That's all, Mr. Goyal.
Thank you, Advocate Sharma, for giving your views. And Advocate Sharma has highlighted few of the things, and one of the thing is what he says is the Hindu Code Bill, which was introduced to the Parliament somewhere in 1955, and he says that bill was passed by the Parliament but was returned by the then President Dr. Rajendra Prasad, and his objection was on many aspects that it is not in the line of Hindus' customs and culture. And on that basis, the Parliament reconsidered it, and after reconsideration, they have bifurcated the bill in 4 parts. I think that was a very bold step at that time of the president. Nowadays, it's very, very difficult for any of the president for last so many years who have a courage to return any bill, whatsoever the bill, to the Parliament. And the Parliament also should be gracious enough to consider it and takes the note what the president has written. Although at that time when the bill was bill was passed, there was an absolute quite a good number of MPs from the ruling party, so there was no question of any problem for the government, but they have accepted it. But the main part, what he says is that divorce is because of the more social problem. It's a social problem more than the legal problem. And he says because of the many factors in the society, awareness has come up, more rights have, he has made a very important point. He says now more rights have been given to the women, which is creating an imbalance between husband and wife. I would like to ask this question when I will come in the next segment to Advocate Sharma. What he means is he means that now the rights in the ancestral property of the maternal side from the wife can be taken, and that's why the wife feel that now I am more rich or I have more rights. So why should I stay with this my husband? He is not earning so much. So that might be one of the reasons, or other factors which he will be able to reply legally, because that is a legal thing. But one thing is very clear. He says the divorce, which were very, very, very less initially, has increased like anything, and especially in Hindus. Earlier, they were there in Muslims or Christians, but now it has increased many folds even in Hindus. Thank you very much, Advocate Sharma, for giving your views. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Advocate Krishna Goswami. Advocate Krishna Goswami is the board member of District Legal Service Authority District Court, Mathura. She was the president of Banasthali Student Union in 1974. She was awarded by Bar Association Mathura for working as counselor DLSA in 2006. She was awarded by Giants Group of Mathura Vasundhara for women's empowerment and social work in 2014. She was also awarded by Municipal Board Vrindavan for her social works in 2015. She is working as a counselor appointed by Honorable High Court for last 21 years and handled and managed more than 10,000 cases. She counseled and even tried her best to settle the dispute so that families can live happily instead of separating. Welcome, Advocate Krishna Goswami, on our show. Advocate Krishna Goswami, you have heard what Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma has mentioned. Now, being a board member of District Legal Service Authority, District Court, you are dealing with such type of cases, and as per your profile, you have dealt for more than 10,000 cases. And your efforts are to see the matters to be settled. Now, but being that much handling with so many cases, you have the experience, you know, you have the first-hand information from both the sides. Like Advocate Sharma says, that it is more the social issue. And he also said there is an imbalance created by some legislation because the wife is giving more importance than the husband, and that is the ego clash. Husband feels that the now, so whatsoever the reason. Are you going through such type of cases? You are going through so many cases which you are watching or dealing. We would like to know from you, your experience, the divorce, the rising trend. Advocate Krishna Goswami, please.
Thank you very much, sir, for inviting me over here. For last 21 years, I've been trying my best in the DLSA to solve the problems which come forward. Mainly the thing is the social background of the people counts more. When you are having a relationship or when you are binding yourself in as a marriage couple, you have to sacrifice so many things. But when things come over in the court, they are totally different. As we are binding our relationship before the court, the things are, more thing is, it is based on plurality. It is based on disputes between the families. The dispute which rises in the family is that the girl who is brought up in a different atmosphere and she is put up in a different atmosphere in the in-laws' house. At times, the lady is not able to adjust, or she has not been given that respect which she expects from her in-laws. Or the in-laws, they expect something more from their female whom they have sorted out or whom they have brought up. They think that she is a person whom we have brought up, she should work as a household or as a worker. This will not work out because her expectations are more. Secondly, the selection of wife or a husband is a totally a different thing nowadays. As the literacy is going up, the people who are literate, they think that they expect something more from their wives. And the wife also expects something more when she thinks my husband will come up and he will give me a warm welcome when he comes from his office. If it is not like this, the female who is more expecting type of person, she starts having grudges against her husband and the in-laws who are also responsible for this movement. Secondly, I would tell you the increasing lifestyle. It is like in the urban area, it is different, and in the rural area, it is different. When the rural area people come over to the cities, they think that we must have a proper lifestyle. If they don't get those facilities, they started having disputes among themselves. But the thing in between that is that if they have children, the suffering goes to the children because the parents are every time quarreling. They are not having proper relationship. They are abusing each other. But this gives a back effect, the society plus to the children. Thirdly, I would say they make a weapon. Weapon means the children are the weapon who are suffering for the differences which their parents are having. Second problem is the main issue is in the economic field. If the wife doesn't get sufficient money from a husband, she is not able to satisfy herself. And another thing which is the main cause of divorce is that at times the parents also provoke their daughters. Look, if your in-laws are not agreeing to what you want or what you require, then you should not stay in such houses. You should come back. This is a very bad trend in the society which is coming up, either for the sake of money or for the sake of alimony. They think that this sort of thing is coming up and people who want that, the girl should come back. That is why they file fake cases. In Mathura District Court, what I faced, there were at least half of the cases were fake because they wanted just alimony from their in-laws because they didn't fulfill their requirements. They didn't give them proper feedings. They didn't give them proper respect. They didn't attend any ceremonies which were going around. And secondly, what the thing is for the cause of divorce is that they were provoked by their parents, either by the father, mother, or even by the neighbors. Look, if you can't get this sort of satisfaction from your parents or from your in-laws, you should come back. Then only they will be harassed and they will come down and bend and they will fulfill it. The main thing for section 13 and 13B, which I was dealing with over there, the main section 13 means what? At times, the female or the male, whoever applies, they think that I will get immediate relief, which is not possible. It takes minimum 5 years to decide a case. Nowadays, if you file a mutual divorce case, that is section 13B, then only there is a period of at least 1 year. In that period, if the couple rejoins again or they think their understanding is better than before, then they can change that section into section 9 of Hindu Marriage Act. I've come across so many cases and I've tried my best that people who are going for section 13B, they should not go for divorce. And I have personally tried many cases and in which I was successful. For this, I was given that award in 2006 because of at least 50 cases which were admitted in Lok Adalat by my experience and hard work. The families united. And I'm really thankful that the bar accepted this and they honored me. Secondly, I'm talking about section 13B, that is mutual divorce. In mutual divorce, both the parties, when they give consent for a year, again the period is there. In 6 months, they are called back. They are asked again and again. They are sent to the mediation center that, are you ready to live together? We try our best that the parties should live together as they have children. The children are the most sufferers in this part. And the thing, they have to think for the children. For this, the spouse has to think, because they are suffering. If they depart, then what will happen? These children become, they have bad habits. They have bad surroundings because there's no one to check them. There's no one to guide those children. There's something very bad part of our society which makes these things very easily available. We are, and especially the media nowadays, this media is also giving a very bad impact. That is, especially those ladies who are not highly educated. They think that through media, they can, social media, by looking after these WhatsApps and this, all these Twitter accounts and all, they have many extra relationships with such people whom they are not aware of. They just see their faces, and they come across those handsome people that which she doesn't find in a husband. Oh, this is very good. This is exceptionally very good. This man will satisfy my all needs which she requires. But it is not so. When they come across such people, they run away from home. They leave their houses. Even they carry their jewelry and money. And when they come off, when they later they find that they have done a mistake, there's no way to come up. And secondly, the thing is, I would like to suggest, according to my age, this mobile is an instrument which is creating lots and lots of problems in the society. Because of this mobile, they talk for hours. Even the ladies, when I asked one of them if they wanted to chat somewhere, they used to go to the bathroom, and then, or in the kitchen, they used to talk for hours. When their requirements were not fulfilled, they used to search someone else through Facebook. They have Facebook accounts, they have Facebook clubs, they have Facebook groups. That particular group even guides them how to deal with their children, with their mother-in-laws, their parents, their husbands. So this mobile is an instrument which is completely a very, very serious problem which people are having. This instrument should be checked. And even the court says that please don't use mobile. This will disrupt your family background, your mental peace. Secondly, even at times we have seen elderly women who are educated, even the husband is educated, very well placed, they have ego problems. Why? Because the husband, when he came back from his work, they didn't ask their wife that do you require something, or have your lunch, or whatever she feels that the husband should give a proper respect. Even at times it's opposite. When the wife comes and the husband is there, even the husband expects. But the thing is, for minute things, they start quarreling. And this gives a very bad impact for the cause of divorce. Finally, they think we should separate. And then ultimately, when they come over, they think that we should separate and we should live a proper life, independent life. We need freedom. That's why they go for such things. But later on, when they cross 50 years or 55 years, then they realize that there was a mistake which has been done. So I would like to suggest such people that don't go for such things. There's another remedy which you can go for, that is restoration of conjugal rights, or some other way has to be. We should think of some other way in which the families are united, either religiously or you should have some transparency. By transparency, I mean that the family and the family members, the elderly members, they should come forward, they should sit together, they should mutually try to make them, rather, they should give them consolation that things will improve in the forthcoming years. If they depart, the children will have a very bad impact. And secondly, the thing is, the main dominated society, as my senior said, is very, very true. The male never considers the wife to be the part of his very, very important life. He thinks the wife should be under him. Nowadays, nobody is under. They think the husband and wife, they are part of the same life. They should cooperate with each other. They should have faith in each other. No suspicion should be there. There are many causes of suspicion. That is also one of the causes of divorce. Many people, they think that my wife, as if she is very beautiful, she should not talk to anybody, she should not go out, or she should only sit in front of him and that man admires him. The thing is, in this age, no one would like to sit at home, but that female wants some freedom. But in many cases I've seen, and which I've come across, suspicion is one of the major causes of divorce. So, secondly, the thing is more, I would like to tell you the financial conditions. If the financial conditions are not good of a husband and the wife is expecting something more from a family, from her in-laws, and they are not able to satisfy her, the woman will never have relationship with her husband. She would expect more and more, and ultimately, if they think, they will go for divorce. And the alimony which they expect is very, very high. If the family is very good, if they have good standards, then the alimony goes in crores also. I would tell you about a case of Mathura. There was a demand of a very big hotelier. The daughter demanded 10 crores. And ultimately, the compromise which landed up, that was for 4 crores, which was a very big amount for the boy to give over. They came over, they requested the girl that please come down and settle down the things amicably. But that girl was never ready, and ultimately they got divorced. So such things, money is one of the most important thing for divorce, which they think over. And I would now tell that the society is changing, the trend is changing. People should think before they get married. As the growing age and the experience and the money which the people want and which they have, that has to be shared amongst both of them. If they have children, even they are the part of that entire fortune which their parents are having. They should think not only for themselves, they should think for their parents, for their children, and for the entire family. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Krishna Goswami, for giving the details about the cases which she has handled and her own experience of so many years about handling these cases. And I would like to just highlight few things. She says, one very interesting point she made is that during the divorce cases, that the family make the children as the weapon, either the wife or the husband, and that is a very, very creating a lots of bad impact on the children's psychology. Secondly, she says that generally the divorce which are taking place has been instigated by the family and especially the in-laws, and that too of the girl side. So she says the girl side parents always instigate the wife or the girl to ask for more money, for more facilities, for so many other things, and that's why when it is not fulfilled, then the divorce is there. She mentioned about the Section 13. She says nowadays it's taking almost 5 years if there is a divorce contested. And 13B also she mentioned where the mutual consent is there, where it also give time, the court also give time. But she's in one way, she's very satisfied and happy that she has tried to settle those who are going for the divorce. And at one time, she settled almost 50 cases. And for that, the district court or the bar has awarded her. And but she made few points which are very controversial. First point she says about the social media. See, she says that the wife is going for the social media. She's seeing in the Facebook, on the Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp, and she is become friendly with a man without knowing the background. And then when she ran away and she found that the man is a person who has shown everything forged or the fraud committed, and then she is in no place. But she has forgotten one thing, that the same thing is happening with the men. Men are also lured by, even the cases have come when the man has made one ID of a girl, and beautiful girl, and the man of the husband is lured by that, and man gave so much money, and then ultimately he is nowhere. But the main point which she has made is about the mobile phone. Now, she says the mobile phone is the main problem in this, in the union or the family, which I think personally I disagree, because the mobile phone is a tool which you have to use, whether you use nicely or not. It is like this, that if you have a car and if you are a motorcycle, if you are not using judicially, you may do an accident. It doesn't mean that there is a fault of the car or the fault of the motorcycle. It is not the fault of the mobile, it's the fault of the mentality of the person who is using it. If you are not using properly, if you feel that the mobile is the master of you and you are not the master of mobile, then definitely that is for everything which we are seeing in the society. So many tools have come. And nowadays, the mobile is the only savior for the online education for the children. The mobile is only savior for even the work from home many times. So we cannot, but her views are very clear. She says, because the ladies, and especially when she's talking of the tier 3, tier 4 or the village ladies, not of the metros, I'm sure, because she says those ladies are talking half an hour, 1 hour in kitchen or the bathroom, and it creates a disharmony in the family. She also said that this society is male dominated. One side, I must appreciate Advocate Krishna Goswami. One side, she has criticized the ladies' side, the women. Now she has, afterwards, she has started criticizing the male side, and she says it's a male-dominated society, and the male expects so many things. Male feels that the wife should be like this, should behave like this, do all the works without asking of caring for the wife, and that's why the problems start. And one more aspect she gave of the financial condition. She says when the husband could not fulfill the financial expectation of the wife, then the divorce. And she also mentioned that sometimes the parents or the girl became greedy, and they ask lots of money, alimony, and that in crores, and that is one of the reasons to take the divorce. Thank you very much, Advocate Krishna Goswami. Whenever, definitely I will come next to you in the question. I will definitely ask some tough questions, because you have made your experiences vast in this line. So what you are saying may make sense, but what the perception or what our experience is bit different. So whenever we come in the next round, we are going to ask the question to you. Thank you very much, Advocate Krishna Goswami. Now I will go to Advocate, our next panelist. She is Advocate Anita Mahapatra. Advocate Anita Mahapatra is an eminent lawyer and a partner in Attorney Alliance Law firm based out in Delhi, having more than 24 years of working in various industries and fields, out of which 12 years in the legal field. Being a daughter of an army officer, she had an opportunity for her schooling in various states of India. She was active NCC cadet and marched on Rajpath in the year 1992. She was awarded Silver Medal of the NCC. At present, she is helping most needy women who are the victims at the hands of domestic violence, sexual harassments, rape, molestation, dowry, and property issues by providing free or concessional legal services. Apart from her profession, she is active marathon runner, a fitness freak, a passionate dancer, and a theater personality. Welcome, Miss Advocate Anita Mahapatra on our show. Advocate Anita Mahapatra, you have heard what Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma as well as Advocate Krishna Goswami has mentioned. Both have given their views. And today, for the first time, I must say that I am not agreeing the views given by Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma as well as Advocate Krishna Goswami. Although they are very, very senior advocates, I have no right to question mark. But yes, I have some reservations, which I am going to ask in my next round of the questions when I will come. But now I would like to know from you, after hearing them and your own experiences of so many years, that dowry is rising trend. Advocate Anita Mahapatra, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Lal Goyal, for giving me opportunity to speak on this burning topic, divorce, the rising trend. And good morning to all the panelists here and all the viewers who are watching it, watching this show today. So, yeah, different advocates have distinct views. I agree to that. So let me put on my thoughts as well. According to me, in our country, marriage is often considered sacred for a woman, and a divorce gets looked at as a sign of failure, isn't it? And divorces are riddled with a stigma in India. You know, earlier there were very few cases of divorce, and the main causes were adultery or domestic violence. But in most cases, the woman continued with a broken marriage for the sake of fear, for the kids, for money. But nowadays, women do not hesitate to call off their marriage. The rising trend is seen not only in the metropolitan, but also in the semi-urban and smaller cities, even villages, including the rural areas, where they may not be a divorce in legal terms, but women are seen, living separately. In the past, Indian women stuck it out with husbands, mainly due to the financial dependency. But today, women no longer have to rely on the man and are not putting up with lazy, abusive, or destructive Indian men and extended families who are not giving them a marriage that gives them the respect, regard, or compatibility they want. So many people, many people will blame that the increase of love marriages in the country, it causes divorce. But the fact is that arranged marriages are still the dominant practice. So divorce in arranged marriages is also rising. So it's not just the type of marriage that is the reason, but changes in many other aspects of Indian life and society, which could be the reason for the rise of divorce in India. Yes, like she said, the internet, smartphones, and increased knowledge and awareness about life and rights and independence amongst Indian women are all contributing to why marriages are succeeding or failing. So there are various reasons for breakup and divorce, like extramarital affairs, financial issues, alcohol, drugs, lack of communication between husband and wife, lack of romance, maybe incompatibility, differences in background, spouse's personal habit, then physical mental abuse, parenting style difference, arguments also. There are lot many. But in judicial, what I have observed that most of the cases are based on adultery, cruelty, or desertion, impotency, and non-restitution of conjugal rights, religious conversation also. So these are the major cause which comes to the court. So divorce is not looked down upon in the society today. While initially divorce was a hush-hush matter, there is a great societal acceptance of divorces in the modern families today. See, a divorced daughter is accepted with open arms by her parents and family today. The very sanctity and importance of a relationship has gone down the drains. Young couples' attitude towards marriage has changed. Increased number of DINK family. DINK, you understand? Dual income, no kids. So they do not hesitate to separate, as they do not have to worry on how the separation will impact children. Professional rivalry between the partners is another cause of divorce. Either the man files or for a divorce due to ego issues, when he sees his wife more successful than him professionally, or a professionally successful woman files for a divorce when she sees that a husband's position is not at par of hers. Also, there are chances of more extramarital affairs. I've already stated that in such cases, and the end result is a divorce. Lack of compatibility and sluggish sex life is also between the two are also major cause of divorce. Now, the sum up. The substance of all causes I just now mentioned is that now the woman just now is women empowerment. With economic prosperity and rising incomes, the increased ego between the partners and professional competition, the number of divorce cases is increasing in India. Today, most young married couples have stopped giving value to marriages, and for petty reasons, their married lives have fall apart on the basis of ground. Gone are those days when a woman, stayed at home and tolerated all kinds of nonsense inflicted upon her by her husband and mother-in-law, sister-in-law, all in-laws. So she stayed in silence and did not walk away from her marriage for the fear of society, and also because she was not financially independent, of course. Her parents also won't accept her, and most important of all, who will look after the kids? She was very much afraid of walking out from her matrimonial home. Things have changed now. Women have become more and more independent nowadays. More and more women have joined the professional bandwagon. With basic education and jobs in hand, they have become financially independent. In case of any marital discord, modern women do not hesitate to move away. Women are capable of sustaining themselves, and finance independence due to women empowerment that's a major cause of increasing divorce rate, what I would say. But what is the solution? Does it mean that women should stay at home, give up their jobs, and get busy in only household work? The answer is big no. Women empowered needs to be encouraged. Our society has revolutionized with women empowerment. Empowering women does not mean competing with men. Empowering women means they have a right to freedom of speech and expression. They have a right to make decision in the family, and if need, they have a right to earn for the family. There is no harm if a woman earns more than a man. She is earning for the family. So there should not be any ego issues in that. A man should respect a woman who earns more than him, and vice versa. Of course, a woman should also respect her husband. So women empowerment has somehow played a role in increasing divorce rates. But it cannot be the sole cause, and the entire blame should not go to the woman alone. At last, I would say the actual solution lies in valuing a relationship, cooperating each other in good and bad times, and living together as good companions. To my viewers, give your relationship some time instead of resorting to divorce immediately. That's what I would end with my.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Anita Mahapatra, for giving your views. And Advocate Mahapatra has taken a very balanced, rather I will say, sided somewhat to the women's side. And she says that if the women are empowered and if they know their rights, if they are more educated now, earlier the education level was very low, now the girls are educated. And if they are also earning, what is the harm in that? The men should change their mentality. They must respect them. If they will respect, then only the marriage can be of long lasting. And she made one point, important point, is that earlier there used to be a social stigma. And the stigma was that if you are taking a divorce, nobody will look towards you properly and you will be looked down by the society. Now it is not like that. And that's why the girls who have been deprived of their rights, who have been facing lots of cruelty, the domestic violence, they have come out and they are asking for the divorce. And that's why the divorce rates have increased. But that is not a bad thing, according to Advocate Anita Mahapatra. She says, yes, if it is for this sake, then the girls are fair. If they are asking for their rights, there is no harm. One more point, she says that many times it happened, and she used one word which I think she has to repeat, some dinks. What word you used?
Dink. Dual income, no kids.
Dink. Is it a English word or some?
It's a short form of dual income, no kids.
Okay. It's a some WhatsApp or some
I mean,
university.
both of them are earning and they have no kids.
So it's a WhatsApp university word, not from the okay. So I think Advocate Krishna Goswami, what she has mentioned, you are endorsing that the ladies are girls, their wife is more influenced by the dinks thing, where the money is there, income is there, but no children. But Advocate Anita Mahapatra, nowadays we are in such an advanced society. There are so many technologies, there are so many ways when people are adopting or getting the surrogate child and whatnot. So in case if that is one of the reason, one can very well have the solutions. Anyway, thank you very much, Advocate Mahapatra, for giving your views. Definitely when I will come, I will have some questions to you. Now I would like to go for my next panelist, and she is the Rotarian Akshata Nayak. Rotarian Akshata Nayak is the counseling psychologist. She is the founder, chairperson, Here to Here at Dharwad. She obtained her master's degree in psychology with a specialization in counseling from Christ University, Bangalore. Having done her thesis in depression and mental health, she has been working extensively in that area. In addition to that, she has been dealing with cases related to anxiety, addiction, relationship issues, stress, and trauma, to name a few. To reach out to more people, she freelances through her online portal, Ux Therapy, in a view to help more people to have an easy access to counseling and therapy. Welcome, Rotarian Akshata Nayak, on our show. Rotarian Akshata Nayak, you have heard Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, Advocate Krishna Goswami, as well as Advocate Anita Mahapatra. All have given the legal views, although they have mentioned about the social views also. And they have also mentioned that the impact of the divorce is mainly on the children, apart from whatsoever the cruelty the wife or sometimes even the husband is also undergoing. But we would like to know, because you being a psychologist, you are dealing with the, even you have mentioned about the relationships, I'm sure that is the relationship outside the marriage, either the wife or the husband, as Advocate Krishna Goswami says, that the wife is manured or lured by the so much glitter today through mobile phone or through the social media. So we would like to know from you your views on the divorce, the rising trend. Rotarian Akshata Nayak, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the lovely introduction. I thank all the panelists also for giving such a good view about the rising trend that is divorce. Definitely, I have also been getting a lot of calls regarding, marital discord that is there between couples, that too especially in the lockdown now. So according to one of the statistics from Lorato.com, that is a website called Lorato.com, they say that about 6 to 10 calls they get daily from couples where they have been asking about divorces. So this is during the lockdown. This is the current, situation I'm telling you about, that couples have been wanting to get divorced. Okay, and another website called lawyer.com says that they have experienced 20% spike in divorce cases. That is in the current trend in India. So as my panelists have already told about how it was a stigma in India before, and people would not want to get divorced because of variety of reasons in India, especially. It was okay in Western countries, in US and everything. It was a common trend that 50%, more than 50% of their marriages used to end up in divorce. But in India, people were not very open towards divorcing, and separation was still okay, but divorce was a step forward. So stigma regarding divorce and who will take care of the child, or what is the financial status going to be like, or how is the housing facility going to be like. So many causes used to keep people behind from divorcing, especially for women. Even if they were suffering in a toxic relationship, they were not wanting to get divorced because of these reasons. But as Anita ma'am has already mentioned about how the trends have been changing in Indian scenario, women have been accepted by their families now, because I think there's more acceptance because of women empowerment, mostly because women are educated, they are working, they are financially independent. Even parents don't consider them a burden when they come back. If they are in a toxic relationship, they just give a call. Parents come and, you know, take their children away because they don't want to see their children suffer. So it is not such a stigma in India, especially right now. That is one of the trend that we have been observing. Then secondly, even young couples do not want to adjust. Before, people used to adjust, people used to compromise. Nowadays, what is happening, for the slightest reason, if people are not wanting to be in a relationship, they approach the court, they want to get divorced, and it is even easily accessible. Like when I was researching about this topic, there are so many, the first few things I got on Google was, you know, the numbers of lawyers for divorces. So it was like so easily available, and I don't think the procedure is as tedious as it was before. So, you know, couples' attitude towards marriage and towards relationship, towards the sanctity of marriage have also reduced because of, like Krishna ma'am has already told, because probably media, mobile influence, so many other factors which have reduced the sanctity of marriage for, you know, the young couples. Thirdly, professional rivalry. People are more independent, they are earning enough, and they have ego issues where they don't want to compromise with regarding anything. Fourthly, lack of compatibility. People are not compatible, they just get married for the sake of marriage, getting married, and later they did not find, you know, themselves compatible to each other, which is one of the rising trends right now. They meet on social media. So many of my friends or anybody, they have met through social media, they have gotten contact with people, they have gotten married, and after they got married, they get to know that they are not compatible with each other. And such, you know, such millennials, I would call, end up getting divorced, many of them. And fifthly, women empowerment. Like I told, women have so many rights now. People are more aware. It used to be like only people, you know, women or men in rural, urban areas, metro cities used to get divorced before, and now it has come down to rural areas, you know, and people don't think before, you know, taking such action. They don't like it, they just drop out of their marriage. Another very important trend that we see right now is invisible divorce. There's something called invisible divorce where people, two partners are legally married, they are staying together, but there is no longer any intimacy or any emotional connection between the two of them. So they are living together for the sake of living. So there is a tortured cohabitation where they live, but the marriage is irrevocably, fallen apart. But still they are continuing for the sake of, probably, like I told before, children, financial reasons, housing, so many things which they are not comfortable separating. So many people that we also see right now during lockdown, there is a lot of invisible divorce that is there. People don't want to stay together, but they have to stay together. Maybe the stigma also can be one of the causes of it. As a psychologist, I think I would want to give a few psychological impacts that, that will be there. It is trending, definitely. Divorce is trending, but it has its psychological impact. However, empowered we are as men and women, however knowledgeable or educated we are, it definitely has a psychological impact. We have to not neglect that. How we take care of our physical body, we have to make sure we take care of our psychology as well. Because so many, there have been studies where it is not that you have been in a toxic relationship and you are suffering. So many studies have shown that even after divorce, people are suffering with probably loneliness, desertion. They do not have people to share anything with. So there are so many psychological impacts that we have to think and not just jump, or just pull the gun, pull the trigger. So it is very important that we also think what it is going to impact us like. And we have to take a fully informed decision whenever we are going to take, we are approaching for divorce, or when couples approach for divorce or anything, we have to make sure they know, and they know holistic view of what is going to happen to them later on. So first of all, divorces will take away a self-determination when they are in a toxic relationship. Even if they are in a toxic relationship, when they are approaching for divorce, there needs to be a lot of determination, because the whole procedure of divorce, I'm not just talking about the legal issues, I'm even talking about the issues that you're going to face with the families, even when you're convincing your spouse or the family or your own family, all the whole, you have to have a lot of determination when you're approaching for such a thing. Secondly, it can many people have a lot of fear of being excluded from the society, from the community. There's a lot of victim blaming. You would be blamed for so many things. So psychologically, people have to be aware of all that and take an informed decision. Feeling of anger, resentment, confusion, fear, shame. There are so many wide variety of things. We have also seen that so many people experience depression and anxiety when they are going through divorce or even after they are divorced. So there's a lot of things that happens emotionally, which we have to be aware of. Emotions like resentment, anger. There are so many angers. There are so many unfinished businesses that you have with your partner, and that needs to be resolved before you're even going for a next relationship, or even when you have to continue leading a normal life after a divorce. So profound emotional turmoil is a major life transition, and divorce is one such transition that is there in your life, which will have a very deep root in your own self, of how you see yourself, how you see the world later on. Also, it is termed that divorce is the second most painful event that a person can experience after death. Death is the first most painful life event. Second is divorce. So divorce has so much of a physical harm as well to you, because many a times we see when a person is going through divorce or has divorced, they have a lot of eating disorder in the sense of they have lost appetite, because this is what we see with our clients day in and day out. They have bulimia, they have anorexia, because of their inability to cope with the situation that they are going with. So isolation can also be there. They are not talking to people, they're not going out. So here, funnily, we call it divorce diet. When people are not eating and everything, we call it divorce diet. It is not funny, definitely, but people start losing weight. On the other side, they also start putting on weight because they eat unhealthy things, they don't work out, they don't take care of themselves. So there's a lot of changes that happens in our body, in our mind, when all these things happen to us. Also, there's a lot of substance abuse cases. I have worked in a de-addiction center for a really long time, and divorce is one of the most common cause that I have found for people to continue their substance abuse. So we have to really take into consideration what this whole thing is impacting. Just because it is trending, just because we see that happening everywhere, every other celebrity is going for divorce, so that is not something which has to be taken lightly.
Thank you very much, Dr. Nayak, for giving your very enlightening about the psychological impact. I will just highlight 2 points. One, she says invisible divorce, that when the husband and wife are staying in the same house, but they are totally disconnected with each other. And the second word, she used the divorce diet, that when the divorce is taking place, they are either overeating or not at all eating. So according to her, this divorce is impacting psychologically, and which is going to harm even physically for both the people. So it is advisable not to go for this. And she says that the cases have increased like anything. She's getting so many calls, etc. Due to the paucity of time, I'm sorry that I have to cut you short. But now I would like to have my question to Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma, you mentioned about that the wife is having upper hand because of some legislation, and you mentioned about the rights in the parents' property, and you also mentioned this, according to you, that is one of the reason, or whether it is because of the more expectation from either side, or the education level of the girl has increased, the empowerment which are the apparentness, that is one of these, not the right. All these rights were earlier also with them. Why you are highlighting now? Only the change has come now. The more and more girls are empowerment is there, or the education is more. What you say about this?
Yeah, Mr. Goyal. It is not correct that the females are having equal rights nowadays. So many new legislations are there which gives much more right to the female than to the male. They should be exercised, it is correct. It is a part of female empowerment. The problem creates when the female empowerment is creating an ego, as Mrs. Krishna Goswami has also said, and you have also said, this ego is creating the problem. In spite of empowerment, if the females are keeping the balance in their rights and the social values and the family values, there is no problem. But when they are unable to keep the balance, they are giving preference to their rights in respect to the family values and the social values. That creates the problem. Having right is no problem. It's all right. Empowerment should be there. Previously, they were not dominating at all. But nowadays, as because of the
Okay.
new legislation, they're having a dominating position.
Okay, Advocate Sharma, you have said, but I disagree with you. The one side, the man it's a man dominating society. A man always dominated whenever earlier when the girls were not working or the wife was not working. Whenever he comes to house, he wants that his clothes should be cleaned, pressed, ironed, everything. He expect everything from. Still, they are expecting, and that's why one of the reason of the divorce, because it's not. It only change has come is the education. Now the girls have come to know what are their rights and which were suppressed from those rights. So I disagree with you, but anyways, it's your views and we are open. We are not going to put
Mr.
our
Goyal,
words on your.
1 minute, please. This
Yeah.
male dominating concept was initial concept. This concept is also minimizing nowadays.
Okay. Okay.
It's not so much
Okay.
now.
So, okay. Thank you very much, Advocate Sharma. Now my question goes to Advocate Krishna Goswami. Advocate Krishna Goswami, we are not talking about the mobile or this thing. That is not an important issue. The important issue is, do you think because of the change in the family system, earlier there was a joint family, now there is a nuclear family. And we have seen the trend in the metros, a city like Gurgaon or Delhi, the dowry, the divorce is more than those small cities or the small the villages, because still there are joint family concept. Do you think the reason of the divorce is more because of the nuclear family than the joint family, Advocate Krishna Goswami?
So the problem is that nowadays nuclear family is coming up. People are not ready to share their responsibilities. They are not ready to have respect for their elders. Elderly persons are discarded. That is why who's going to take the responsibility? If you want to take the responsibility of the people who are in old age, how will they work? From where will they get the money? And why they are going to share their time for such oldies? The problem is that is why these old people are shifted in old homes. It's a pathetic thing which is coming up. And people who should be responsible, especially the son and the daughter-in-law, they should take care of their in-laws. But instead of that, they just throw them out. They just take away their money. And in the old homes, if you go and search, then you will hear the pathetic.
No, Advocate Sharma, Advocate Goswami, that is fine. But my question is not that. My question is, earlier the joint family, the advantage is that their counseling, inbuilt counseling was there by the elders.
Yes.
For that you should not go for divorce, because there were used to be grandparents, the parents, so many people. But nowadays, no one is explaining. So your point, which you have mentioned, is that then the girl or the boy is taking help of the social media, because no one is guiding them. Earlier, there used to be chachi, tai, kaki, bua, or the mother-in-law. They used to guide, or the mother, they used to guide the daughter, ki, see, you should not do this. This is not good. Try to reconcile. But now there is, because they are staying in a metro city, there no one is, elder is there to guide. Do you agree with this?
Yes, there is no time to go for such counseling also. They need counseling. If they have any dispute, there should be one person in the family who will console them that what you are doing is not correct. You should unite and you should stay in the family where you have come to.
Okay.
parents that
Okay.
they should unite their daughter and son-in-law.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
they come out.
Yes, thank you very much, Advocate Goswami. Now my question goes to Advocate Anita Mahapatra. Advocate Anita Mahapatra, do you think the one of the reason is the fat marriages, the dowry is one of the reason for the creating more expectations in the girl side, because the girl feel that my family has spent so many lakhs or crores rupees on my marriage. I bought so much money from in that form of dowry. Why should I be treated as not equal? Rather, I should be treated having upper hand. What Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma said, he was mentioning about the legal right. I am not saying the legal right, and the socially, the girl feel that I am more powerful. I have bought so much money with me. I bought so much. I have taken the fat marriage has taken place. My parents have spent so much money. One of the reason of divorce is this, Advocate Anita Mahapatra.
Yeah, sir, before replying to your this question, I would like to comment on the conversation which you had with Mr. Sharma, that laws are already there and they have not been used by women. It's actually not correct. Laws were not there before, because see, IPC was enacted in 1860, but 498, when it was inserted, it was inserted in 1983. 1983, and IPC was in 1860. Similarly, domestic violence was enacted in 2005. So it all came very late. The laws and rights of women came very late.
Now you make the answer of my question.
Okay,
Because
your
the time
your question was whether dowry is a major cause for the divorce. I would say in a rural area, women are still facing dowry issues, and they, because of stigma, because of fear of kids, non-financial issues, not access to justice, they are not able to raise voice for divorce. They are still a victim. I'm encountered with them. So that is not the major reason, because people, girls are, women are still victim. They are still facing this issue dowry, and they could not go to the court for divorce.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Advocate Anita. Now my last lead, because I have to give the time to our Rotarian Akshita Nayak. Your suggestion as a psychologist, what suggestion you want to give to the couple or to the society?
So I think, first of all, marriage counseling is not just about reconciling. I'd like to say that it's also helping people understand that it is okay to part ways. So, but they should know about everything, like a holistic view. So first of all, people should know about what they have to do later on. Try to build relationships, try to amend whatever problems they have had. So try to do everything that is possible from their end. Come for counseling, which is very, very important. The whole point of me talking here also is to raise awareness about something called marriage counseling, where people can come and talk to a person who's non-judgmental, who's not going to have any views about what is right or wrong in the society, but right or wrong for the couple. So that is extremely important, where people can come forward, talk to a counselor, and try to see what is actually happening and what amends can be made in their relationship. So that is something I would really suggest also. And also premarital counseling, which is very important, where people understand if they are even compatible for each other. So that I think I'd suggest.
Okay, thank you very much, Rotarian Akshita Nayak. So viewers, you have seen that divorce rate is increasing in India. And because the reasons our experts have mentioned, one expert says because the legal rights of the girls have created the imbalance in the marriage. One of the panelists says because of the social media and the mobile phone, and the one of the panelists says because of empowerment, and one says because of the social stigma and the social problems. Now the girls are more empowered, and that's why these things are changing. But one thing is very clear: are we going to follow what the Western people are doing? Are we also going to harm our society how they have harmed? Or we will see to it that how our earlier society, which was very peaceful, where the children or nobody was having that type of tension. Yes, I agree with Rotarian Akshita Nayak that going for the counseling afterwards, you must do for counseling first check up whether you are compatible with your partner or not. Otherwise, you can land up and paying hefty fees to the advocates. I am not making other comment on this, but everywhere. And the social torture, the mental torture, you and your family, whosoever, either you are from boy side or the girl side, are undergoing. Thank you very much for enlightening all of us today. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you every day new topic. But for last 1 month, we have started one evening program where we call a achiever and who has achieved, who has reached on the top of his career or the life by doing some good works. And that's why today our chief guest is in the program. The program is called Kal Aaj Aur Kal Lal Goyal Ke Sang. It starts at 4:30 p.m. every day for 4:30 to 5. And the chief guest is Rotarian Dr. Rajendra Agrawal, Rotary District Governor 2021-22, Mumbai District 3141, Mumbai. So we will be knowing about his life journey, how he started his career from his scratch, from his childhood till now. So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Advocate Ramesh Kumar Sharma. Thank you very much, Advocate Krishna Goswami. Thank you very much, Advocate Anita Mahapatra. And thank you very much, Rotarian Akshita Nayak, for giving and enlightening all of us on this very, very burning topic. And thank you all the viewers for watching. Thank you very much.